of all the locations along the Striper coast, probably the most revered place to fish is called the Mecca of surf casting, the surf casting capital of the world, whatever you want to call it, Montauk Point. But of all the spots around Montauk Point, which are many, Montauk Lighthouse, or fishing quote unquote under the light, is probably considered not only the most coolest experience, but probably the most dangerous experience and the most rewarding. It's one of the most rewarding spots on the East Coast to fish when the fish is running or the fish are present. There's a big rip that forms on the incoming tide, and when you have the wind with the tide, it creates big waves, fast water, and it's usually not a place for novice to go to. It can be very dangerous to land the fish. The rocks are slippery, the surf is coming up, but it's also a place which can be very rewarding. In today's episode, we're going to look at one specific aspect of fishing under the light, and that is what lures to use and how not to try piss everybody else that you're fishing next to by using the lures that everybody else is. So here's Billy Jakobs, who's been fishing the Lighthouse for over 30 years, who's a Montauk regular and a regular contributor to the Surfcasters Journal magazine.
Under Lighthouse, my prime plug that I go to has got to be the darter. Darter's going to cover 99% of your time casting, as long as the conditions warrant a darter. If you got a big heave on, I'll go up to a big bottle swimmer, which will get you down and hold you in the sweep. It works nice in the white water as it spins around. When it gets really pushing bad, everybody knows bucktails. I've used bucktails on the light up to 3 ounces with 40-mile-an-hour winds. But the Lighthouse is an intimidating place to fish. You're shoulder to shoulder with people. I grew up fishing out here for 40 years. Under Lighthouse, when I fished, was real, basically violence. You could get into a fist fight, lines were cut, your plugs came back backwards, snap swivel was open. And if you go out of the line using something different than everybody else is using, that's where the problems start. If everybody's fishing plugs at night and it's calm and there's a nice sweep going through, use plugs. If you start casting a bucktail between 3 guys using darters, you're going to have a tangle problem. If you're fishing a darter and everybody's using bucktails, you're going to have a problem tangling. So trying to match what everybody else is using. Sometimes, you think plugs are more effective, but if everybody's using bucktails, you're going to be out of the water tangled 90% of the time. So I'd stick with the bucktail. On the Lighthouse, I like to use 1.5 ounce. Usually is the best when a running tide. I'll go up to 2 ounces on a heave. 2.5, 3 ounces when you got a really good blow and you got a lot of bow in your line. I'll go up to a heavier bucktail. Color choices, I use white 99% of the time. I'll switch between white, yellow, and red pork rind, but I'm always using a white bucktail. I've tried red and black, and I haven't had any more or less success with those, but it's just stay with the white. They're easier to find on the shelves than the colored ones. And that's about my bucktail story.